Men won't stick around for this. So men are done with the nonsense. We're watching as men walk away from society, relationships, instead focus on themselves. Today we have a video from Manhood. His channel will be linked in the description of the video, so you can go check him out and support him. Watch and end this video to fully understand why men are walking away and what the implications are for society. Don't forget to follow Silver on Rumble. Our Rumble's linked in the description of the video. And also, guys, don't let them tell you that you will own nothing and be happy. Go and check out Angry's Crypto Academy to learn how to buy, sell, and trade crypto while making massive profit. The academy is also linked in the description of the video. And now let's go ahead and jump right in. So, guys, men are tired of the BS. We're tired of the nonsense. They're tired of the games. And instead, they're choosing to walk away from society, walk away from relationships, focus on themselves, their own happiness, the relationship with God. And that's pretty much it. And you can't really blame men for that. You can't really blame men for that because they have basically gone through so much that they are, awakened to the way to female nature, to the way society views men, to the way that society treats men, to the way that the world treats men. And they can see that, like, as most men can see, we're not coming back from this. Like, is there really like $40 trillion in debt in the United States alone? $40 trillion in debt. Like, men, it's a sport disrespecting men. It's a sport shaming men. It's a sport humiliating men. Shame, insults, guilt, gaslighting because they need to be right. It's too much. All right. So this society, like, we're watching as people walk away from so many of these systems. I mean, I truly do not believe the internet will be around in its currents. Just like you guys, I'm typically ahead of the curve, typically ahead of the curve, and I'm telling you right now, just like the mainstream media, it's like like television is no longer really around the way it's like legacy television is literally legacy television, like the like ABC and all that shit. It's moved online. Like, no one, the only people, like, the average age of people watching legacy television right now is like 65. It's all baby boomers. Most of the people actually watching television right now are baby boomers. Literally baby boomers. The average person is not like actually watching television or cable. The average person. Are there people who still engage in it? Yes. But the average person is not. It's all online right now. It's all on Netflix, on Hulu, on Disney Plus, on Crunchyroll, or pirating websites. That's where media has moved to. But it's been like this for years now. Okay, it started back in like 2012, 2011, 2012 with Netflix, and then it transitioned from there. And TV, and it's no longer around its current form. And that's what's happening with right now. The internet is becoming so regulated, so surveilled. We're developing the system where everywhere you go, you have to have a phone with you to facilitate access, but it's really just an illusion. They have to tie your identity to your phone, and they want biometrics. They want physical. They want your ID. They want a facial scan. It's in the name of protecting children and safety, and it's all about control. And guys, I'm telling you, like, the internet, it's not going to be around. Like, it's a terrible place to be right now. It's changing the way we think, because if you control the way that people speak, if you limit speech, you also change thinking. Like, if you prevent people from having certain thoughts, because speech and thoughts are related. It's something that George Carlin said. Guy was brilliant. If you can censor people, if you can prevent people from saying certain things, just like we have on this platform that I'm on right now, if they can prevent, for example, we don't open certain things we can't say. We don't talk about, we say physical intimacy instead of calling it what it actually is. We don't use the actual, when someone passes away, we don't use the actual word to describe it. We say passing away, or to make it, because we don't want to upset the algorithm. Like, our entire lives are now controlled by algorithms, not upsetting algorithms, and AI only takes it to a further point. I mean, we're moving in the direction right now where you call like customer service, you don't speak to an actual person. You actually, now it's AI, it's all going to be AI. You're talking, talk to the system. Okay. And they'll make it near. I was watching Clownfish TV and they were talking about it, where they basically make it damn near impossible for you to speak to a real person. Right now, like guys, they're like vibe coding on YouTube, on like YouTube Studio. I was about to, guys, literally, I was about to tell you that I was literally about to say to you that my YouTube studio has been broken for almost a month now, and I went over there and suddenly it's fixed. My YouTube studio was broken for almost a month. Let me refresh it. Suddenly, it's no longer. Yeah, it was broken for almost a month. And usually, as YouTubers, we can go into YouTube Studio and we can speak to a represent like a customer service person. Like, well, yeah, pretty much. And like, bro, it's like they removed like so much of that, and now it's literally everything is just talking to AI, and it's heavy AI integration. And I'll admit that there are some benefits to this, but they've basically like in my YouTube studio, it's literally catch me up on this video, click on, and it's all AI. Like everything is becoming an AI company. And it's not intelligence, it's automated assistance. It's basically predicting language and speech, okay, and controlling what you say. And it's terrible. And this version of the internet, it's not good, guys. The surface web will be here, but we're going to begin seeing people moving more than likely into private networks, where you want to access certain portions of the internet, it's going to be all done through private networks. All right. We're gonna like a lot of people are gonna be hosting their own private networks, and of course they've already tried to control what you can do at the ISP level, and they recently failed in court. What happened was there was a court case recently that went to the Supreme Court, to my understanding, and basically it was Sony versus like one of the internet service providers, and Sony was basically trying to say that they can dictate what internet service providers are allowed to do when it comes to like pirated content, and basically being able to block or hold service providers accountable for what people do on their networks, and the Supreme Court ruled against them. So this is a massive blow to Sony in many ways, to my understanding, not just Sony, but companies in general that would basically try, and not just companies, but potentially states that try to control the internet at the ISP level. It would likely be thrown out. So these laws would be found unconstitutional. Granted, it doesn't stop them from trying. But I think this version of the internet is literally cooked. It's become nothing but a tool for surveillance, for control, for controlling, not just controlling what we can do and say and how we're allowed to travel. It's also for things like surveillance, for dynamic pricing, the control, collecting information, brokering information. Like the surface web is becoming, in some ways, the surface web is becoming way more dangerous than the dark web. And the dark web is really just a decentralized web. The reason why they want you to feel like they don't want you to the dark web is really just a collection of private networks focused on security. Everyone here is Tor because it's the most popular one, which is basically was basically and evidently is still funded by the government. Okay, so yeah, it probably is a psyop, but the truth is that the dark web is a collection of private networks that are typically security focused, and that's where I think society and decentralized. I think that's where everything is headed. Where we're heading towards like private networks. So for example, I have my NAS, and for using my NAS, NAS is basically a storage device that runs like a Linux OS, and you can store information and basically access your stuff anywhere in the world. It's pretty sick. It's like running your own little home cloud server. It's amazing. But they're becoming more and more affordable, even though hard drives are becoming more expensive. But I just buy used hard drives. And the thing is, like, you can still find like two dirt cheap. Like, let's say you want to set up your own NAS at home. You can buy, like, I picked up the 2300. I spent like it cost like, I got it on deal it's been as low as like $167 on Amazon. I got it for like 180 something, and total was 205. And then I picked up two hard drives, like enterprise grade hard drives that were used, but they were really good off eBay for $50 each. And I bought some more after that, and they were 4 terabytes each. So I basically did what they call RAID 1, where they mirror each other. So my data is backed up across both of them. So if one dies, I can just basically put in another one. I could just replace it, and my data is just automatically recovered, so I don't lose shit. But you can also access, like, for example, I could be in Indonesia. And literally access my storage drive from Indonesia, like all of my information, whatever information is on it. I can literally be in another country and access all of my shit. It's on 24/7, as long as, and I even have it plugged into my UPS. A UPS is basically a device that if there's a power outage, it keeps power going to your computer. So that's one of the important things that I actually did. It is connected to, yeah. So pretty much everything, like my monitor, my laptop, my not laptop, my monitor, my computer, and my NAS, they're all connected to my UPS. And so if the monitor, my NAS, and I think also my internet connection, which is, and I have a wireless internet connection. I have two different internet connections. I have T-Mobile Home. So if the power actually goes out, if the power actually goes out, like I will still technically, I should still technically have access to the internet. I should have access to everything, and I can quickly save my stuff. Or if the power, or I can go turn it, like let's say like the breaker flips or something, I can just go turn it back on. So it's like nothing lost. So it's pretty good. But yeah, like I think that's the future where like you're gonna have like people having NASes, and you could like basically you're gonna like you could decide which websites you want to allow. So for example, different websites, like they have a server, they can basically just connect their server to your NAS, using an IP, using a domain that you provide, or and basically, and that's how, and people like, so for, and all of those are curated websites. So for example, let's say I'm running my own private network using my NAS, right? and and I'm only going to allow, like, let's say Amazon, on like websites that I trust. Like, so for example, I'm like, okay, well, on this network and there's moderation. I trust like these websites, and these are the only websites that can be visited on my NAS. Like, that's actually very, very privacy focused. I decide, I can issue domains, I can withdraw domains, stuff like that. It depends on what you're trying to do, but that's kind of direction we're going in, I think. And most people don't need more than 100. They don't need access to more than 100 websites. Most people are not visiting 100 different websites. You have to think about it. Like, what websites are we actually visiting? Amazon, YouTube, Netflix, like even for like professional, if you're like the average person is only going to a handful of websites. Like, young people are not even using Facebook like that anymore. All right, the average person, it's like YouTube, and then like maybe a few other sites depending on interest. Okay, I check like my email address, like stuff like that. So if you have like a NAS that's like, it has like it supports 100 to 300 sites easily without breaking a sweat. Pretty much anyone can build their own little private network, and they can decide what websites are available, and it becomes censorship resistant. They could have, like, it's, again, and it's not just like the mainstream sites. You can have a bunch of other smaller sites, but that are moderated, and you decide what's on there, and it's censorship resistant. It's, you don't have constant surveillance. You don't have people, these sites, it makes it much more difficult for these sites to track you, collect your information. Again, it's very, you can enforce whatever rules you want on that network. That's where I see things. And then when you have when anyone can do something like this, so for example, like, they try to, like, oh, like, we're gonna confiscate your domain on the surface web. Okay, no one gives a shit, because guess what? There's a million, like, look at what they tried to do with the Pirate Bay. They tried to take down the Pirate Bay a million times, and the Pirate Bay just creates a million different domains. They have, to this day, they still have not successfully been able to take down the Pirate Bay. There's just like a million different mirrors off the site, and as one goes down, another one comes back up. They completely failed. Now imagine when you have people that are running a NAS, that are running their own relay service, where you can have like all of these different services can have, like, beyond, like, all of these different websites can have a presence on all of these different private networks. So at any given moment, one goes down, ha ha ha, oh well, I don't care. I can just go to, there's another, like, it's like, imagine being able to access Crunchyroll. Let's say like there was like an attack on Crunchyroll, and that's for anime, and like suddenly, like, the domain goes down. Like, okay, well, it doesn't matter, because like Crunchyroll is like on a bunch of different networks. Like, it's like, people are hosting these networks, so you have a million people hosting all of these different private networks. And on these different private networks, let's say, like, like 10% of them are also relaying Crunchyroll server through through domains on their private networks. So it's like, yeah, Crunchyroll just went down on the surface web. I don't give a shit. I'll just go to one of these private networks and access it that way, which is where it's safer. And of course, I'm giving you an example of a mainstream site, but let's say a site that's focused on, on movies, but they're technically not, it's technically not, I don't use the word illegal, but basically, it's piracy. Basically, and they're like, okay, well, like, it's available on these private networks. You can't you can't shut them down. You can't shut them down. Okay, are trying to, and it's not just that, trying to limit communication. We're like, oh, we're going to stop communication. Like, these networks can also be used to facilitate things like instant messaging, voice over IP. So you won't actually need, in this case, we're heading toward in a direction where people will even stop using their native phones. Like, for example, if I want to make or receive calls, I'm going to use voice over IP. I can eliminate the middleman for the most part. Like, that's the direction we're gradually heading in, where the goal is to eliminate the phone company. You guys might think it sounds insane, because right now we all have to go through the phone companies, T-Mobile and all of these motherfuckers. But you might be shocked that we can head in a direction. We're potentially heading in a direction where we will eliminate the phone company, and you will have a cell phone, but you will not need T-Mobile. You will not need AT&T. You will not need Verizon to actually have a phone number or something, or phone number like, and make phone calls. And you'll be able to do all of this completely for free. Is it going to be the best service? Over time, it can get better. It'll get better and better and better. And you eliminate the middleman. Because, like, right now, I told you guys, we were for the longest time, we were in the fuck around era, and now we're in the find out era, because we've been fucked with for so long that now those who've been fucking with us are about to find out. That's the honest to goodness truth. Okay? Like we've had these groups that have been crying wolf forever, and now, people are done with the wolf. People are going to say, okay, well, wolf, you've been lying about the wolf, or you are the wolf. Monkeyland says, hey, Angry, hope all is good. What's going on, bro? Let me see here. Monkey says, about some of your videos about Gen Z, I'm concerned about that generation and don't know what will become of it. They are heading towards being a lost generation. They are 100% because Gen Z is heading towards being a lost generation. They call Gen X the lost generation, but that was a complete fucking lie. Gen X just simply walked away from the bullshit. Gen X has contributed heavily to technology, to math, to science. People often think like Gen X is like, I posted a comment from like someone saying that Gen X was basically the most underwhelming generation. The reality is that Gen X was the least problematic generation. Were there troublemakers in Gen X? Absolutely. There are troublemakers in every generation. But as a generation, Gen X really didn't fuck with anyone. They basically helped where they could help. They did what they could do, and they walked the fuck away, and they basically went under their rocks and they stayed there. And they didn't create, and overall, Gen X did not create problems in society as a generation. Again, there are always troublemakers in every generation, but as a generation, Gen X didn't really fuck with anyone. They made good contributions to society. They were not a very political generation as a generation. They weren't out there with the millennials and the Gen Zers and the boomers picketing and creating problems. And basically they didn't have unemployed energy. They actually showed up for fucking work. So, Gen X that's just Gen X. Gen Z, on the other hand, they are really a lost generation. They're struggling with reading, writing, basic arithmetic. As a society, we're responsible for that. But that is something that it's by design. Like Common Core math was by design, designed to destroy. It was designed to destroy the ability of young people to be able to do math. Like taking phonetics out of schools, where literally you learned how to sound out your words. That basically, now young people struggle to read because they don't know how to break down the word. Okay, All of that shit is gone. It's all done by design. It's all literally done. Like I was reading this thing, like reading this article about this woman who has like she basically left her Amish village, her life as an Amish person. And the thing is that she studied like she didn't really know much history about the world. She only knew she was even acting as she was actually working as a teacher in the Amish society. And here's the thing: she left when she was 18, and she said that the only skill sets that she had were read English, arithmetic, and German, because they study German. The Amish do study German. They're basically descended from German settlers. But here's where things get interesting about this. I was thinking to myself, so you have exceptional English, you know how to read, write, and do arithmetic very well, and you also speak German. Yes. So you speak a second language, you have strong arithmetic skills and strong English, and guess what? She ended up basically transitioning to the world. She's like maybe 22, 23 now. She's already married. I think she's already married. Something, yeah, like she got married very, very quickly. And just the foundation, like a solid foundation, was enough for her to transition into the real world and kill it. Like there are things that like now she runs like a YouTube channel, a podcast about growing up Amish. She's completely adapted to the world around her very, very quickly. And she has that strong foundation, and just literally reading, writing, arithmetic, and knowing a second language has been more than enough for her. So, that's just to show like Gen Z, they are like, if they were not given that foundation, they were 100% not given that foundation. And I think they are going to be very much a lost generation, because no one's really trying to help them. And it's very hard to really hard to reach them too. Kana says, "Hey guys, hey Angry Sama, what's going on, bro?" Monkey says, "It's amusing that some Gen Zers think Gen Xers and millennials don't know how to use modern technology, when Gen Xers and millennials developed a lot of it that Gen Z is using. Gen Z is These kids are not too right. Like, are there some exceptional Gen Zers? Absolutely, but the vast majority of them are they're not so right. These kids are like the Zoomers are very much like the Boomers. If I like the way someone put it. Someone said it perfectly. The baby boomers were the most corrupt, and Gen Zers are the most corrupted. That's the honest to goodness truth. They're not overall, they're not a very good generation. Are there exceptions within the generation? Yes, but as a generation, they're not a good generation, and many of them are not going to really make it in the world, because the way that they view life is incorrect. They were right about a lot of things. They were right about the economy. They were right about inflation. They're right how hard we were getting fucked. But their personalities are fucked up. But a lot of that is also our faults as a society. Like, I didn't like if I look back now, it's like I would think to myself, I would never go to clubs. I would never go to clubs. I wouldn't really go to parties. Maybe I'd still go to a party here and there. It's like I'd just stay home and chill. But the thing is that I had to go through all of that pain and suffering growing up. I had to go to parties. I had to go to clubs. I had to go to social events that I fucking hated, just so that I can be an old man now and say I don't want to do that shit ever again. But that stuff is vital, because it teaches you how to communicate, how to operate in social environments. Those are very, very important things that we completely don't comprehend. Like, we went through all of these things, and they were like, you know what? We just want to protect our children from these things. They don't need to go out. They don't need to go to social events. They don't need to be hooked, sleep, like being intimate with one another. Like, guys, that's one of the, it's being in the streets is bad. Don't be in the streets. But when we're pretending, we're acting like our children are supposed to remain virgins until marriage, or they are, or be celibate for the rest of it. Like, we don't understand how damaging this is to young people, because we're not creating functional adults. We're just basically creating robots. And then we're surprised when they don't really have much of a personality. They don't really know how to relate. They're not cool. They're terrible to be around. Like, yeah, look at what happened. Like, if you go back to 2020, the events of 2020, and afterwards, these kids, it never changed, it never recovered. There were already issues. but the important years when they were supposed to be socializing and and going to social events, and guys, they weren't doing any of that. They were doing classes online. And then you wonder why they don't know how to work well in the work. They don't how to operate well in the workforce, or why they behave like pests in society, or why they're constantly anxious, or why they're constantly filled with doom. Like, they are basically the doom generation, but look at what happened to them. Like, the difference with Gen Z and the millennials is that the millennials actually had optimism. The millennials had optimism. Gen Z had no optimism. They didn't have any of this, oh, we're going to go into the world and make the world a better place. And when I grow up, I'm going to be this and that. Or, nah, bro, they were fucked pretty hard. They were basically like, they got, there was no skip to the good part for these kids. It was literally, you're going into a world where there's not going to be any jobs for you. There's not everything. You're going to be on their constant surveillance. You're going to be constantly like recorded, everything you say and do. If you even look at someone the wrong way, if you, like, I mean, like, they came into the world of M2, like Me Too. That was their world. They don't know, these kids, in terms of dating and having relationships, they don't know a world before Me Too. They do not know an adult. They don't know a world before this. So of course they're scared. All right, and they don't know a world before, before all the, like, and again, I'm not saying anything bad about the rainbow community, but they don't know a world before all of this stuff was, before DEI and all of this stuff was entrenched in media. Okay, they don't know a world before this. So they're fucked up, but we helped fuck them up. And even if we didn't directly contribute to it, it was the baby boomers. As a society, they're still our kids. So I don't put all of the blame on Gen Z, because I know that I don't like the way that they behave, but I acknowledge 100% that they didn't raise themselves. They didn't ask to be born into this world. They didn't raise themselves. It was done to them. The schools did it to them. The state did it to them. Their parents who cared and tried. There was only so much you could do as a parent, because most parents didn't realize this was happening. Again, it's not a justification. At this point, what parents really, and most parents can't do it. These kids shouldn't be going to schools. Like, the schools are terrible. Like, the bathrooms are like giant windows where you basically watch them going in, you watch them going into the stalls. It's fucking insane. They're prisons. They are worse than, like, let me tell you something. Like, you look at the bathrooms in schools right now, like, they're these giant windows, and they are being constantly watched at all times. Like, it's you have no privacy whatsoever. Like, it's literally worse than prison. It's I don't know any prisons where you have a screen that is watching you in the bathroom at all times. Like, that's open. Like, there's usually guards and so forth. You have less these kids in school right now, they have less privacy than prisoners. And some of y'all are angry you're talking shit. No, I'm not talking shit. They have less privacy than prisoners. And they are being tracked and traced, and everything is being observed about them at every given moment. That is not healthy. That is ill. Absolutely ill. All right? So yeah. Monkey says almost all the men of Gen Z are single, and some people think it was the events of 2020 that caused Gen Z men to be this way. It played a major role, and it wasn't the sole thing, but it was it was maybe the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, it was a multitude of things. But the events of 2020 basically just kind of brought us to that breaking. It was like that breaking point for everyone. Like, nothing has been normal since 2020, and it's only getting worse by the day. You're Zennial. Monkey says, I'm a millennial born in 1984, and Gen X left us alone, but the baby boomers were often tyrants to us. I was born in 83. You're a Zennial. I'm a child of baby boomer parents. I assume you're a child of baby boomer. You have to be. Yeah, I mean, for me, I spent a lot of time with older Gen Xers, and even as an adult, I spent a lot of time with some older Gen Xers. So I got to have fun. Because of Gen X, I got to have a lot more fun. I got to have a lot more fun than a lot of Zennials and Millennials, because I spent a lot of time. Like, when I went to the workforce, it was only Gen X. It was only older Gen Xers there. And they weren't always the nicest of people, but it helped my personality develop. It helped force me to come out of my shell. It helped me to learn how to deal with others. People are always going to be nice to you. You know, it really, it really, I like it was like I was like, I wasn't even 18 yet, and Gen X was basically taking me to the bar. So I'm not saying it's right, but this is how it was. Like it was like all of these experiences was because of Gen X. It was because of Gen X why I started going on, like went on spring break or went overseas and experienced a lot of different things. It was because of Gen X. So yeah, Gen X was pretty cool. There were some assholes in there, and some of them could try to take advantage of you. But as a generation, Gen X was a pretty decent generation. Let me check this out. Different Same says, "What up, Angry? What's good, bro? What's good?" To Monkey says, "I graduated school in 2003, so I don't know how different high school is now. My parents are baby boomers. I figured, yeah. I finished in 2001. I graduated high school in 2001. No, yeah, it was 2001. Started college in the fall of 2001. Uh, High school is like we're all kind of like stuck in our own little environments. Like the moment, guys, high school is horrible. Like if you were to go to these high schools and see how these kids are treated and how these kids are living there, these schools, like guys, these places are terrible. These places are fucking terrible. You walk into the classrooms and you look at what they're teaching these kids, you're like, this is not math. This is not math. This is not science. This is not reading. This is not writing. This is bullshit. It's a load of fucking drivel, 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 drivel. I don't know. Tell you, life can be bullshit. It is. Monkey says, "I heard high school is now like prison with Wi-Fi." That's exactly what it is. And the Wi-Fi is being used to track and trace at all times. All right, using devices to track and trace at all times. Like you have no autonomy or agency. You're basically a prisoner. Like schools have just become modern day prisons for children. They are day prisons for children. That's what they are. Yeah. Let me see here. I did have this video I wanted to jump into from Manhood. Let's go ahead and start watching some of this video. It's taking a little while to load. What the fuck? Ugh. You know what's fucked up? I'm running the video remote. I'm running the video locally. I was like, oh, I finally figured it out. Let's try this one.
I'm your girlfriend. Guys, look, he is charging me taxi prices. Look, he's using an actual taxi meter. Turn it off. I'm
Look
your
at the gas
girlfriend.
prices and tell me this isn't fair.
Why can't she believe it? She thinks because she gives him sex, she can get everything else for free. When will modern women understand that they turned themselves into sexual objects years ago?
Tell him to go away. Ed! Ed! Tell him.
You see, for a long time we entertained women's BS purely because they are women, and there's only one thing they could offer, intercourse. But now things have changed. We have come a long way.
Wait, we didn't do body count.
I have 1,100. That's, I think, more than last time.
Wait, Andrew, why are you making that face, Andrew?
Andrew, I've been doing this for 10 years. His eyes.
Say it again, Lawrence.
11 guys. 11. Like after Houston, I'm done. Like guys, I talked about what happened in Houston. Like they had high rates of S to the D's to the S to the T's to the D's. Yeah, I'm done. After Houston, I'm done. I lived overseas. I lived in Mexico for years. We never had this kind of fear over there. And like there was stuff out there. We never had this kind of fear. Guys, you go overseas and they like, oh, you're living in a third world country. Bro, I would feel safer sleeping around in Haiti. Then and like you're like like I use Haiti because like Haiti's like one of the, you think of like a country like Haiti where like it's like one of the worst places to go fuck around. I would feel safer sleeping around in Haiti than in America. In Haiti. Haiti, all right? That's been declared like a failed nation. Haiti. Haiti, bro. Jesus Christ. America is such 1,100 body count. That's why I say, like, when a woman is like the average body count is like somewhere between like 100 and 300 at this point for the average woman. 100 to like 300, maybe even 5. Like, guys, it's so high because it's basically like candy. It's so easy for them, especially with the internet. Most of them have easily have body counts of 100 or more, 300 or more. Hers is 1,100. Like, this is just a complete norm right now. And the thing is that they're all sleeping with the same guys. They're all literally being intimate with the exact same guys. A small pool of men. So as a result of that, it makes it much easier for S to the T's to the D's to circulate and spread much faster among that population. It's crazy. 11. I have 1,100. 1,100 bodies, and yet she's supposed to be someone's wife, right? Come on, dude. And how old is she?
I have
I don't think he heard
1,100.
you. Say it one more time.
1,101.
Here's what's crazy. At the beginning of the show, she said that over 100 people from the podcast got her services.
Yeah, they're like, I saw whatever, and I was like, cool.
This woman tells it all. They decided to make it free and accessible to anyone, and to some extent anything that wants it. There are toys that have slept with more women than any man has.
5 celebrities who worked as strippers, the last performing nude number 5, Cardi B. Before topping the charts, Cardi B worked as a stripper in New York. She's spoken openly about dancing fully topless on stage, calling it survival, not scandal. The confidence carried over. Number 4, Amber Rose. Amber Rose worked in strip clubs before becoming a pop culture figure. She's admitted to nude performances early on, saying it gave her independence and thick skin fast. Number 3, Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna was a stripper before fame, performing in adult clubs under a stage name. Her routines were bold and unapologetic, a preview of her later persona. Number 2, Nene Leakes. Long before reality TV, Nene Leakes danced in clubs to pay the bills. She later joked that stripping taught her confidence and how to command a room. Number 1, Lady Gaga. Before global fame, Lady Gaga performed in underground clubs with burlesque-style routines, including near-nude appearances. It wasn't shock, it was art and ambition.
These women had all the money and the opportunities in the world, but they chose to use their bodies to please men and make money out of it. Just think about that. In their heads, they are nothing more than sexual objects.
How many girls right now that know definitely OnlyFans is the wrong thing to do, but girls are very influenced by other girls easily and they still do it. They know it's wrong. Deep inside, every girl, they know it's wrong, right? And then for somehow, like one thing about girls as well, I'm not trying to be rude, but like one thing about girls as well is if a girl dresses up, puts her makeup on and goes out, right? She convinces herself that the universe has to owe her everything. That she's a most perfect looking person.
This is the reason we say women are group thinkers like sheep. They know it's wrong, but out of peer pressure, and because they want to fit in, they end up putting up the one thing men value so much for everyone to have.
It was not like this in the 1950s. People got married and they stayed married, but when the hookup culture and the sexual liberation movement introduced by feminism came in the 1960s, everything just was destroyed. Like, if you look up the statistics, your best bet at not getting divorced is marrying a virgin, okay?
Sure.
Only 5% of virgins get divorced. But the hookup culture and the sexual revolution is what screwed up this country and the society. Before all of this, people got married to the first person they had sex with.
We used to value women. We worked so hard to marry and have a family and provide for them. That was all based on the assumption that women respected their bodies. They only slept with one man for eternity.
Here's the advantages of marrying a virgin, just to kind of show you what you've missed. Number 1, her body is untouched. Number 2, you can mold her into your liking. And I'm not saying manipulate. Remember, you don't get the woman you deserve. You get the woman that you create. Number 3, there's less of a chance for her to cheat. When she has ridden other eggplants, she knows what it's like to have other eggplants. Number 4, there's the higher possibility for a successful marriage if you marry a virgin.
Now, let me make this clear. Be very careful, because this is the thing about virgins. Like, this is how, like, everything went so far right. Everything went so far left now it's swinging far right. Be very careful with the virgin. Be very careful with the virgin thing, guys, because a lot of women will pretend to be virgins, or women will try to, or even women who are virgins will try to use that as leverage to a relationship. You have to be careful. Like guys like Steven Crowder, I think he was a virgin when he got married, and I'm guessing his wife was also a virgin. Guess what? Relationship completely collapsed. A lot of these Christian men who thought that, oh, if I marry a virgin, everything's going to work out. The biggest let me make this clear. No one wants to marry a 304. No one wants to be with a woman with a very high body count. But the main issue, the biggest issue is not a woman's virginity. It's a woman's culture. Because if the culture is bad, if she comes from a bad culture, the only thing she's going to do is use her virginity as her best tool to find a man who's looking for a so-called traditional woman, lock him in, and then basically extract as much wealth and resources as she can from him, and then leave the marriage after she's done. All right? Just because you have to understand, the biggest problem that we're facing is culture. It's a cultural problem. Okay? The reason why women traditionally waited, until after marriage was because of their culture. So if you're thinking like, okay, well, I'm just finding a virgin is the solution, or finding a woman who's a Christian woman, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. So many of these men end up in these empty relationships, empty marriages where there is no intimacy for 20 years. Okay? You're thinking, oh, I can mold her, not control her, mold her. Let me explain something. You cannot mold her in a society that is indoctrinating her from the moment that she's a little girl to the moment that she becomes, a young woman, a woman who can go off into the world and marry. The culture is garbage. You have to find someone who has the same cultural values as you. You have to. Do not listen to this man. He means well, but listen to me. He's older than I am, but I am wiser than he is when it comes to certain things. And the number one thing is that you're not looking for a moral woman, because the so-called moral women are often the most immoral behind closed doors. And they wear a mask. You have to find a person who comes from a culture that respects men, that respects their family, that respects human life. And when they do that, and when they come from such a culture, they will then also respect themselves. Okay? Forget about the whole, because you listen to this garbage and you're like, well, where the hell am I going to find a good woman like this today with traditional values? Oh, I'm going to go to the church and find a woman in the church. Guys, men aren't dating. You have these single events at churches where 1,000 women show up and it's like 20 guys, maybe, or 12 guys. Where are all the men? Why are there no men here? Because the men in the churches realize that church is not a place for saints. It's a place for sinners. All right. Church lady is just another name for 304. Pastor is just another name for pimp. Okay? Church, religion is just another form of the state. To church is just another form of the state. Okay? And I've said this before. The church leads to the streets, and the streets leads to the church. So stay off the streets and out of the church. Most of you know that you have no business in the church right now. There is no God there. The devil is the devil is sitting in the front row and preaching from the altar, or whatever the hell it is. Okay? From the podium. It's a load of bullshit. Think about this. They call it certain kinds of values. I can't speak openly here because they control the speech. But look at it's not, these are not the teachings of Christ. Even the Bible isn't the way that you interpret the Bible. It's through the Schofield interpretation. All right. And the baby boomers will immediately jump on me for mentioning Schofield because they're so corrupt. They don't want you to know that the teachings of the Bible were changed using the Schofield reference Bible 100 years ago, where this atheist basically suddenly had a awakening from God and he saw the light, and then he basically went and created the Schofield reference Bible that was widely circulated globally, that basically taught people how to interpret the Bible correctly. So if you can't change the words, you change the fucking interpretation. And it's used as a means of control. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. Let's see. Come on. Monkey says, I talk to many Gen Zers and they can mostly just have a basic conversation. Totally different when I talk to Gen Xers and millennials. Yeah, because they have no communication skills. They have zero communication skills. Guys, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, it's best for young people to not go to parties. It's best for young people not to go to these social events. Let them basically read the Bible. Like, and then you're like confused why, like, they act like little jerks. They're not reasonable. Guys, we don't live in a perfect fucking world. We don't live in a perfect fucking world, all right? And after people go out into the world, they don't want to listen to Uncle Angry. They go out, you think you're a big bad man with big balls, all right? Then you go out into the world, you get fucked. You want to come back to Uncle Angry, I went out there and I got fucked. Okay, I don't give a shit. Get the fuck out of here, all right? Let me tell you, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Fuck these people, all right? If you are a big enough bad man to say that you want to go out into the world and you don't want to listen to Uncle Angry, I can't tell you what to do, but don't do this shit. All right? I can't tell you not to go over this cliff, but don't go over the fucking cliff, you dumb motherfucker. Do not go over the fucking cliff. If you go over the cliff, you're going to fuck your life up. All right? I even put up a fucking sign. I put up a fucking sign right there. It says, don't go over the cliff. I put that fucking sign right there. Okay, motherfucker? Look me in the fucking eye when I talk to you. I put that sign right there. Don't go over the fucking cliff. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm telling you not to go over that fucking cliff. Oh, you're going to go over there anyway because you hear there's a pot of gold. There's a pot. Bro, you're going to fall off the fucking cliff. Do you not see there's nothing over there? You're going to fall off the fucking cliff. So you're like, fucking angry. You know what? You're just an angry, hateful man. You go over the cliff. You fall off the fucking cliff. Somehow you survive, but now you come back. You're fucked up, broken. Your life's wrecked. Uncle Angry, I went over the cliff and I'm so fat. Everything's get the fuck out of here. All right, get the fuck out of here. You had your shot. You didn't take it. All right, when I was growing up, there was no one to tell me these fucking things. All right, I wished I had an Uncle Angry growing up. I didn't. All right, and now you have you had an Uncle Angry. Yeah, don't call me Uncle Angry. All right, you call me Mr. Angry. Okay, our relationship is done. No anger, no Uncle Angry. Get the fuck out of here, you bastard. Get the fuck out of here. Let me see here. Connor says, I'm running a bit behind. Angry mentioned the toilet situation in schools. My mate's daughter feared going to the loo at her school because the school allowed thugs to loiter at them. It's disgusting. It's despicable. It's like, don't send your fucking children to school. Homeschool your kids. They will learn how to do reading. Homeschool your fucking kids. And when they're old enough, let them take the GED. They will learn the things that they need to learn more rapidly. Homeschool your fucking kids, and when they turn 16, let them take the fucking GED. Take them entirely out of school. All right? If you listen to me, you have to figure it out. I would not let my kids go to school. My kids are not going to this because it's not even a place of, they're not learning communication skills. They're learning control. They're learning and they're being indoctrinated. Fuck that shit. All right? Even private schools today, I don't even want my kids in private schools because they're indoctrinating the kids in the private schools as well. All right? Because like I said, my kids go to a good Catholic school. No, the church is just a different form of the state. It's just another name for the state. It's the same bullshit. They're indoctrinating them with religious mumbo jumbo that's controlling their thinking. I don't want my kids dealing with any of that shit. All right? Fuck that shit. I'll raise my kids myself. I'll fucking teach my kids myself, all right? Reading, listen to me, writing, and arithmetic, and maybe a second language. They're good. Look at the Amish chick I told you about earlier, all right? She knew nothing about global world history. She knew reading, writing, arithmetic, and German, all right? And she adjusted rapidly to the world. She was far ahead of the rest of these idiots who can't add 2 and 2. Gen Z can't even add 2 and 2. They think it's fucking 5. They were taught when they were growing up, they had Common Core math, and they were literally told that 2 plus 2 can equal 5 because as long as you understand the concept of it, then you're fine. No, 2 and 2 cannot equal 5, you motherfuckers. It's fucking 4. It's fucking 4. Oh, God. Connor Commuter is a Gen Xer. He says, I graduated in 92. You're so fucking lucky, man. Those of us who got out before the era, those of us who got out of school before the iPhone, before smartphones, we're the fucking lucky ones. After smartphones, it was the beginning of the fucking end. Monkey says, I can understand why Pew Research says 63% of men of Gen Z 18 through 19 are, I think it's a little older than 18 through like 25 or some shit, are single. Yeah, there's because there's nothing out there for them. Connor says, F me, 1,100 body count. Yeah, the average woman has like a 100 to 300 body count by the time she's like 25. All right. Yeah, always says, what I don't understand is that women are allowed my body, my rights, because it's her body. At the same time, a child who's not from a man's DNA and not his child has to pay child support because the system is designed to extract wealth and resources from men. Women operate as agents of the state, and their job is to extract wealth and resources from men for this and reallocate it to the state, and they are rewarded for doing so. So the entire system is designed to do this. That's why when you get married, it's not a marriage between you. It's not a contract between you and the woman. It's a contract. It's a contract between you, her, and the state, where the state has the ultimate authority in the relationship. You don't read the marriage contract very carefully. All right, you're not paying attention. You should never get married. You are a fucking moron if you go inside a marriage contract today. If you want to have a committed relationship, fine, be fine with that. But let me make this very clear. Everything in that relationship belongs to you. The house belongs to you. Everything. She came into the relationship with a bag, she will leave with a bag. Okay? This is your empire. This is your home. This is like when she comes into your field. Listen to me. What you don't need like if you want the bathrooms a certain color, you're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna paint the ceilings black. You don't ask her for her fucking permission. You are telling her. If she cannot understand, you make it very clear. Okay, this is not gonna work. You're gonna take your shit and you're gonna get the fuck out. This is my guys. You never give a woman the keys to your fucking kingdom. Don't give her equal access to your bank account. You have to always maintain separate bank accounts. But we need to be able to pay funds. Okay, so get yourself a joint checking account. Okay, get a joint checking account, and on this joint checking account, you put certain amount of funds. Don't put your life savings in it. Put specific funds in there between the two of you that are accessible. But you have to maintain separate credit cards. You have to maintain separate bank accounts. You have to have separate lives. You have to be able to basically get her out of your life as quickly as possible at any given moment. Like, let me just make it very clear. You have to be able to cut your losses quickly. You know what's funny? Like, it's so funny. Like, the normal amount of guys are listening to the podcast was around 32 people. It's been kind of low compared to like I used to get 60, 100. Now I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm thinking about creating a new channel for you guys and like starting over to some degree because like I don't like the numbers I'm getting from this channel. I have over 60,000 subscribers. I used to even a few months ago I had a YouTube partner. I had a partner manager. I think it was earlier this year. Was it earlier this year or was it last year? Guys, time flies so much. I had a partner manager on YouTube. I think it was last year, actually. I'm pretty sure it was last year, and I'm like mistaking it for this year. I don't think it's definitely not this year. The year has gone by so quickly. We're already in April. It's almost May. It's April 25th. It'll be May in the blink of an eye. Time is still moving pretty quickly. But I had a YouTube partner manager, and we were trying to figure out how to get more views of the channel and what's going on with the fuck. It's bullshit. It's literal bullshit. I'm thinking about creating like a new channel and growing that shit, because I've got way too many fucking subscribers, and I look at the views. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the fucking views? Fuck this shit. But yeah, we got around like 32 people in here, 33 people, which is about normal, which is pretty much normal, like at any given time whenever I'm streaming. So that's not bad. That's not bad. And it's like, it's like depending on where you are, it's like 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. If you're on the East Coast, it's 4 a.m. If you're on the West Coast, it's about around 1 a.m. something like that. So I'd be like, yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, it's not bad. Don't ask me what time it is in the Midwest. I don't fucking know. I don't no hate on the Midwest people. I might live out there one of these days. I like the Midwest. Like the fucking Midwest. Let's see here. Kano says, I haven't even spoken to 100 women. Jokes, but far out. All right. Let me see here. Difference as the internet and social media gave them the ability to skip a generation or two and started Gen Z era prematurely, making them the target audience way before their time. The power of social media. Yeah, I hear you on that. Kono says, I very rarely see your videos in my feed, and I've been following you for years. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me, I'm done with this shit. I'm so fucking done with this bullshit. Kono Commuter says 6 p.m. here. 6 p.m. What country are you in, bro? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Where are you in the world? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I don't know where the hell you are. 6 p.m. You're probably not in America, that's for sure. I don't know which time zone it'd be. I don't know which time zone it'd be 6 p.m. in. Like Eastern is like the latest time zone, I think. 6 fucking p.m. Where the hell, Kana? Where the hell are you? Where are you? 6 p.m. Don't make me go ask AI. Where are you, in the UK? Australia? Where are you? Yeah, let me see here. Let me see here. Let's watch some more of this video.
And number 5, you know her past, which is non-existent. Now, what about the whole virgin part? It's like buying a car. You're probably not going to find a car with 0 miles. Every car that you can afford, think about it, every car that you can afford has been driven by another person. And that statement has nothing to do with cars.
These advantages were the reasons we went to war to defend women and children. The women were pure, and therefore the children were also pure as an extension of their mother's behavior.
Girls want to sleep around in their 20s and then at 30 run to a man. And but you've lost the things that men value by the time you're 30. You're no longer pure. You're no longer youthful. And so men are kind of tired of it, because what happens is they'll date the bad boys, the rappers, whatever, in their 20s. And then they hit 30. One guy thinks this is his lucky ticket. This girl's super into him, but she just wants kids. And she really feels like she's settled for him. She gets the kids and then half the time leaves.
That is on point. Women clearly know the value of sex to men, but they decided to give it out for free to anyone who comes asking. Now when they are old and they are the leftovers, there's nothing left for a man to work hard for.
Women that sleep around the most that will say men are trash. But the women in healthy relationships are not usually the ones saying that. So if this formula is working, why are you allowing trash to enter your vagina?
They have ruined their bodies so much. We no longer see them as people worth sacrificing for. We look at them like some used up, dirty and sick objects. And it's all their fault. They made those choices.
Sleeping around with people is like you plugging your phone to different laptops and picking up all their corrupted files and all their viruses. When you let your body be exploited by so many people, you are downloading from these people and picking up all their energies, their traumas, their past experiences. Why? Why?
Let me make this very clear to you also, because what she's saying also applies for men. This is one of the reasons why, when Myron says something like, I respect the fuck out of Myron from Fresh and Fit. I don't want beef with him. I respect this man immensely. I really, really respect Myron. He has my complete respect. But what he says, and I understand why he says it, that you guys, before they even think about getting a girlfriend, they need to become a high value guy, begin making $100,000 a year, have their life together. Their fitness they have their fitness together. So basically you should be fit, you should have gone to the gym. Your body should be in shape. You should be generating, multiple sources of income. You should be making above $100,000 a year, generating multiple sources of income. You should basically have a 6-pack. You should be very fit. And then after, and you should also have slept with 50 women, because after 50 women, then you basically understand female nature, how women think and operate. And then you can think about being in a relationship. Let me tell you something. Every woman that you sleep with, you are taking her energy. And she is taking her, and she's taking a part of you. She takes a part of you, and You're absorbing her negative energy. And it's too, like, I've done it. I've lived that life. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to just go around. It's gross. Eventually it starts to, you start wanting to vomit. You don't want to do that. It's nasty. It's nasty, 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 nasty. You have to really protect your energy as men. Protect your energy, because we're gonna go and sit here and pretend and act like, like sleeping around only hurts women. No, it also hurts men. It 100% also hurts men. Like, if you go back to like the 60s, yeah, these guys had girlfriends, but they were only sleeping with their girlfriends. These girls had boyfriends, but they were only sleeping with their boyfriends. So maybe you didn't get maybe you didn't marry a virgin, but she had a very low body count. Like, the only other guy she had ever been with was the guy that she dated in high school, right? Is it the perfect scenario? No, but it's much better than the alternative. Another thing is, there was always a saying, virgins are crazy. Where there's smoke, there's virgins, guys. The problem with virgins is that they can become needy and obsessive, and it's true. And also, there are those women who will use virginity in today's society as a weapon. All right, because they basically figure that this is their ticket to getting the life that they want. You don't want someone like, you have to understand, virginity was a cultural thing in the past. Virginity wasn't a bargaining chip. It was not a chip that women used, like, oh, I'm a virgin. So I'm not saying it never happened, but it wasn't the first thing that people thought of. It was literally a part of the package. Like, it made, well, yeah, you come from this kind of culture, so it makes sense that she's a virgin. All right. The biggest problem is culture. Don't focus. You don't want a 304. You don't want a 304, but you have focus less on virginity, focus less on morality, focus more on culture. Because when you find a woman that comes from a good culture, then she's more likely to have good morals and a lower body count. Okay, but if you start looking at things like morality and culture, then you end up in the church. And what do you end up in the church? You end up with 304s of the church who basically are born again virgins. They're high, they're mightier than thou, holier than thou, and they're all born again virgins. All right.
Why would I do that to myself? And that's why they say in spirituality, your body is your temple. You have to protect it. You have to preserve it until you give it to the right person that deserves it. And then that divine energy between two people takes you to the next level.
Because they are not realistic. They think and act based.
Let me explain something. They say divine energy. Let me make this very clear to you. For most relationships, like, it's just fucking. It's not this great spiritual experience. We need to step back from it. There are some men who basically pretend like it is. And if that's how it is for you, God bless you. All right. But Uncle Angry needs to really clear this shit up. Clean the air. It's fucking. It's not this great spiritual event. It's fucking. It's fucking. All right. It is. And there's some men who are simps and they're like, I couldn't imagine being with anyone else other than my wife. And then she finds out that he was, they was cheating on him for decades with a bull, like Tyrone, Bull Tyrone. You know what a bull is. A lot of y'all know what bulls are. So cheating on him with a bull, and none of the kids are his, and now he's crying his eyes out. Well, yeah, you earned it, little bro. All right, she's fucking Chads and Tyrones behind your back, but she was a virgin and you were a virgin, and you were living, you're Christians and all this shit, and now you come looking to Uncle Angry, the old fucking heathen Uncle Angry, like you're talking shit about me, like he's a misogynist and a heathen, and now she fucked you over, and now you want Uncle Angry to hold your hand and listen to your pain. And Uncle Angry's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You're my enemy. All right, that's not very Christian of you. I told you I'm not a Christian. All right, I told you to stay out of the fucking church. I don't know what to do, Uncle Angry. Go get fucked. That's what you do. Get fucked, you bastard. Get fucked. Go. It's from the streets that you came, and it's to the streets that you shall return. Return to the streets. I don't want to go back to the streets. Okay, well, go to the church. You told me not to go to the church. Exactly. You'll get fucked because the church leads to the streets. The streets lead to the church. They're really just one and the same. All right, you're gonna get fucked either way, and that's what you deserve because you were out here with all of this fuckery. You got fucked, and now you're coming to me and crying to me because you got fucked. No, you love that shit. All right. From the streets that you came, and it's to the streets that you shall now return, you motherfucker.
Based on emotions. They sleep with a random person because of the vibe. Unfortunately for them, consequences don't care about your feelings.
Question for the men. Why is it that men nowadays don't approach women in public anymore? I feel like back in the day, it was so common for men to walk up to women, have a little conversation, maybe ask them out on a date. But nowadays, that does not seem to be a thing anymore. Why?
The past is gone. We are in a future, and the women we have took what we valued in them and ruined it. On top of that, they added trauma, baggage, and infections. That is why we are walking away.
California, Texas, New York, Florida, and Georgia. Those are the states with the highest cases of STDs reported according to the CDC. And these are all results from its sexual transmitted disease surveillance report. It states that over 2.4 million combined STD cases are reported in the US every year. Hold up, but what are the states with the lowest rates? Well, Idaho, Wyoming, Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. But it's time to get specific. Let's talk about syphilis. Between 2020 and 2021, cases rose by 32%. Experts are showing specific concern about congenital syphilis. That means when the mother has the disease, she's pregnant and she transfers that disease to her baby, often causing the baby's death. Rankings place the state of Nevada at the top in number of syphilis cases, with 24.9 cases reported over 100,000 people, following by Mississippi, Alaska, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. Moving on to HIV, New York remains the state with the highest rates. In terms of chlamydia and gonorrhea, southern states are the most affected. In fact, 7 out of 10 states with the highest STD rates are in the South. Overall, the CDC indicates that STDs are disproportionately reported in people under 25 years of age, those who are part of an ethnic or racial minority group, or gay and bisexual men. But it's important to take into account when looking at these numbers that the COVID-19 pandemic may have influenced and affected the tally rates in this report. Now to the most important thing. If you are sexually active, it is highly recommended that you get tested for STDs and STIs. This is crucial if you are between 15 and 24 years of age, because this is the group that accounts for almost half of the cases of STDs reported every year. What do you think about these findings? Have you gotten tested before? Let me know in the comments. I'm Catalina Perez de Armiñan. Follow me to stay informed.
Now STDs are rising in the West, and there is only one gender to blame, women. 1 in 3 men is a virgin in most Western countries, so it's not the men spreading these diseases. With all those factors in play, we are taking a step back.
Question for the men. Why is it that nowadays men don't seem to approach women in public anymore? Because I feel like back in the day, early 2000s, maybe the 90s, it was so common for men to just walk up to women and start a conversation, maybe ask them out on a date, you know? But nowadays, I don't see that happening anymore at all. What's going on? Like, why is this happening?
Why would we? What do they have that is so useful? They used to say we MWN want only one thing, sex. Now they have ruined that thing. They have filled it with trauma, abortions and diseases. Nothing good in there.
We are losing men to peace. We are losing men to ourselves.
We are losing men to peace. Guys, they told us to go away and we listened. Men walking away, guys. Men walking away. Women are finally, guys, we are losing men to, now this woman is getting it. They are losing us to peace, where we are saying that being alone and having our peace is far superior to being with them. And there's nothing that, guys, there's nothing a woman can do to give men something better than his peace, because men have seen it. Oh, we'll give you pleasure and peace. No, we don't want your pleasure. Your pleasure leads to pain. It's a lie. We don't trust you anymore. We know your games. We've seen what you've done. We've been through this already. Many of us have lost so much. We're older. We're older. We're wiser. We don't have as much time. We don't have as much energy. Our brains are, we've been through it already. We don't trust you. All right. You are the big bad. You basically were out here saying that the big bad wolf is like huffing and puffing. You basically cried wolf, 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 wolf for 50, 60 years. Well, guess what? We walked away and now the wolf is here and you're like, men, come back. We're not coming. We're not coming. Okay. You deal with that motherfucking wolf on your own.
Men no longer prioritize women. The man at peace is an unbuyable man. Some women are still thinking that men are in that scenario of chasing after, calling, despairing. For the lack of a woman, for her absence, when in reality, today's man, he is increasingly valued. He understood that a woman is not the center of his life, that a woman is not the most important thing in the world. It is perfectly possible to live without one. Today's high value man, he seeks to make money. He seeks to do business. He seeks to grow, to develop himself. He removed women from his focus. Today's man, he realized that his peace is worth more. There is no relationship that can buy his peace. Today's man, he is unbuyable. He is non-negotiable. The peace he chose for his life has become non-negotiable. If you are a woman and are waiting for a man to venerate you, a man to idolize you, a man to dote on you, I'm very sorry, but perhaps that won't happen. Because the more time passes, the more we have seen that today's generation of men is not like the generation of old. And it is we women who have been losing high value men, serious men, hardworking men, dedicated men.
It's not that we substituted women for peace. They turned themselves to chaotic, useless women. All they have been doing for the last 20 years is destroying what we have built for so long. It's impossible to be at peace and be with them. We are choosing peace.
Guys, you cannot fix a woman who thrives on chaos. And it's really tempting to want to be someone's savior or to fall in love with their potential. But guys, if a woman is constantly creating drama, she constantly self-sabotages, she cycles through emotional highs and lows, then it is not your battle to fight. And the truth is, love doesn't heal somebody who refuses to do the work themselves.
Yes, these women thrive in chaos, and they have completely refused to change a thing about it, all because they know that we men want sex, and for that reason, we will have to deal with them. We are not interested in sex or saving.
Here's another thing about all of this. So, for example, it's like women are now turning to platforms like OnlyFools and LonelyFans. Guys, intimacy is no longer what it used to be. Because, like, how do I put this? They did this thing where like they basically went to like this remote village, like in like the Amazon, right? Let's give you an example. It was like some tribe that was like in the Amazon. They had no contact with humans for the most part, and they gave them the internet. And the first thing they started to do was they became addicted to adult content. And these are people, guys. This just basically shows that the issue is not the human body. The issue is not seeing the human body. It's the portrayal of the human body. It's the internet the internet has become nothing more than a tool for construction, for nothing more than a tool for conditioning, controlling what we think, how we feel. Guys, the reason why platforms like OnlyFools and LonelyFans are allowed to exist is because this is the way that the government controls intimacy. Okay? This is the way that the government profits off it. Women don't realize that these are now tools allowing the government to tax intimacy. Okay? When you go on OnlyFools and LonelyFans, you're basically selling your intimacy and allowing the government to tax it. And women can't change because basically they're stuck on these rights. They're never going to give up the rights, and the governments are not going to take away the right to vote. You know the reason why women will never lose the right to vote is not because it would be a major outcry. The government doesn't give a fuck. It's because it's an effective tool in being able to get women to vote for constant, things that the government wants. There's no two different parties. It's a uniparty. It's one system. Whenever we have an election, it doesn't matter which side wins. It basically means the government gets reelected. It's designed to give you the illusion that you have a choice. You don't. Okay? We don't have choices. We have owners. All right? You know who figured this out? George fucking Carlin. There is no saving this system. When you look at things like the list and the Island Boys and all of that shit that came out, and we just had to digest it and accept it, and most of those people were baby boomers. That's the system working exactly how it was designed to work. You can't stop these people because they own the fucking system. They own it all. They own everything and they want it all. They want whatever's left. They want everything. Guys, they want to tokenize the literal fucking air that we breathe. They want to tokenize all the land. So all the public land needs to be tokenized and controlled. They want to tokenize the air, the literal air that we breathe. They want to put it on they want to put it on a digital ledger and basically determine this, like who owns, like it has clear owners. The air is owned by specific groups. And so basically, if you want better air quality, then you may have to go here. And what do? They create a problem and then they offer you the solution. That's why they show us things like, oh, the air quality in this area, the air quality in that area. We didn't ask to hear about air quality. What they're doing is that they are conditioning us to basically say, well, if you live here, it's going to lower your survivability. So you basically have to pay more to live in a place that has more breathable air, or you're going to have to go and wear a special mask that filters the air for you. This is all being done by design. Oh my gosh.
Time's up now.
Women will always seek chaos, so you have to put them down. If you don't put women down, they get bored. They start to think they have power and authority and always fuck it up because they have this tendency, this craving for emotional volatility. And if you don't give it to them, they will make it in a very toxic way. So the healthiest way to do this is to slam them.
We are not interested in slamming them. We are simply walking away. Let them melt down and put everything into chaos for themselves. We want peace, stability, and predictability. If the cost of peace is lack of sex, we choose to stay celibate.
In general, good men are steady and consistent and predictable. It's why as women, we think you're boring. As women in general, we like chaos and drama and disruption of routine. That's what makes us feel alive and engaged in life, because we want to do what we want to do. Structure holds us accountable, and we don't want accountability. So we want to do what we want to do when we want to do it and thrive on that instability, because again, it makes us feel engaged and alive. Ergo, why we are attracted to bad boys, because they're chaotic and we think that's exciting and it adds drama and passion to our lives.
Do you now see it? This is what we have been dealing with for decades now. They know it, and they deliberately keep doing it. We created peaceful homes. They brought chaos.
That's why I said, forget it. Don't focus on morality. Don't focus on virginity. Focus on cultural compatibility. All right? Focus on, if you want a relationship with someone, go to a country where the women are fit, feminine, friendly, and agreeable, where they are culturally compatible with you, where they want the same things that you want, where they were raised to be wives and mothers, okay? Where feminism and this culture of putting men down and shaming men does not exist, all right? Go where you are appreciated and go where you are celebrated. Go where you are appreciated, go where you are celebrated, not simply tolerated, because as soon as they no longer need you, they will no longer tolerate you.
Want homes and children. They want to sell their bodies for $5 a month. We just can't do it.
A female narcissist. She's obsessed with wanting to appear good instead of actually being good. She will cause so much destruction and chaos in your life, then act like the victim publicly to circumstances and repercussions that she's created. Don't let that go over your head.
They ruined the dating scene for wanting to look good. They ruined marriage, tradition, and morals. And what is looking good to them? Living a fake lifestyle that's funded by men who she sold her body to for $5. Think about that.
Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look. We have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me? Hello, I don't want to be the one to approach you, okay? Because that's not my man's. My man's has, the balls that he has.
My man's? What kind of ebonics is this?
And he's not afraid to come up to me and say something. Say hello. So if you're a man out there, you guys have balls for a reason. Use them. And don't be afraid to approach women, because we don't want to do that, This is just a pro tip, okay? Chime in.
We are not
a pro tip. We're not afraid to approach you. We don't want to approach you. They're like, we made eye contact. No, he basically looked at you and was like, yeah, let me stay the fuck away. Is she trying to fuck up my life? Is this woman a danger? Guys, when men look at women today, they're basically like, yeah, is this a person a danger to me? Is this a person a danger to my survivability? They look at women as they look at modern women as a group of people who are trying to take advantage of them, and they're trying to create problems in their life. Okay, so men have learned their lessons. They've walked away, they're staying away, and they're not looking back. And women are like, we don't understand why this is happening. Listen to me. So, sweetie, the era of playing the victim, crying wolf, all of that shit, you were in the fuck around. We were previously in the fuck around era for like 50 to 60 years. All right, now we are firmly in the find out era. What happens after that? You were crying wolf for 50 to 60 years. Now you cry. You know the wolf has arrived, but the wolf has arrived, but guess what? Men don't give a shit. You're like, be reasonable. You're not our responsibility. You traded us for the state. Now go to the state and ask the state to provide for you and protect you, because we're not doing that shit anymore.
Afraid. We are prioritizing peace and health. We want to protect ourselves from your past hoe phase and potential infections. The risk is no longer worth the effort. We stay away and we will be healthy, safe, peaceful and pure. Not even offering sex will bring us back. That's where we are, and that's where we end it. Share this video with a man to open his eyes too.
I don't know, guys. They did this to themselves, and now they think that they're gonna be able to just walk away and have a good I don't know. I don't fucking know. Modern women are something fucking else, y'all. There's something fucking else. Something else. Something else. You know, you fuck around, and then you find out, and then they fuck around, they find out, and then they cry. You know, they fuck around, they find out, and then they cry. And they made that choice for themselves. They chose to go down this path. They chose, because guys, they like chaos. They like chaos. They will always like chaos. That's why you have to have full control over the relationship. You cannot marry them. You cannot give them the keys to your kingdom. You have to you cannot be too predictable. Don't ask them for permission when going out. Don't let them know where you always are. Don't always respond to their phone. If she messages you, do not forget about responding right away. Sometimes it's best not to respond at all. Sometimes it's best not to respond ever. Okay? And then just respond, and then just hit her up later on and act like you never even saw her message. And you're like, oh, so wait, angry. So now you're telling us to play the stupid games that they play? No, basically you're treating her like she's not even really that important in your life. All right? That's how women want to be treated. They want to be treated like they're not that important in your life. It may be hard for you to hear it, but it's the truth. You basically have to just focus on yourself, and you have to make it very clear, like I said, you never ever sign this agreement like a rental agreement where, oh, she's on the lease. No, she's not on the lease. Never ever put a woman on your lease. Never ever put a woman on your lease. Okay? Because now she can throw you out. She can and if she's gonna live there with you, she basically needs to sign a rental agreement, an agreement to make it very clear that she does not have any rights there. She is not a tenant there in that sense, and she is a visitor essentially, and you can ask her to leave at any moment. But you will, under no circumstance, must never ever sign a marriage contract. You must never ever sign a marriage contract. And again, when we talk about relationships, I'm not talking about women in Western society. Do not cohabitate, do not get into do not date, do not get into relationships with these individuals. If you want to, the kinds of women I'm talking about having like a cohabitation relationship with, that's a woman overseas. That's a woman in another country. You don't ever bring her back to America. Okay? You can have a cohabitation relationship with a woman overseas, but you make it very clear to her that she came into the relationship with a bag and she will leave with the bag. This is your house. This is your property. It's your car. It's your television. Anything that whatever she brought into the relationship, whatever she created whatever she's created or brought into the relationship while she's in a relationship, she takes that shit with her. All right. If she buys a television, they don't spend money on shit. Then that's her then she can take that with her. But if if everything in that relationship, everything that's been she came into the relationship and you've bought things during while she's been there, that's your shit. Like, for example, you bought a new television for the bedroom, and she's now, and you're like, nah, sweetie, you gotta go. You've got to go. She's like, well, I'm taking my TV with me. No, you're not taking shit with you. Well, I'm taking my dog with me. No, you don't own the fucking dog. All right, like you guys got a dog when she came in. Okay, you chose a dog together. Yeah, you make it very clear that's my fucking dog. Everything I own. Some of you guys, you don't realize it. Women respect you more because when you own everything, she has to keep on working for something. She can't control you. And if she decides that she wants to leave, then she's gonna have to go back out there to the streets and mess around with these idiots out there. Okay, you don't ask her for permission. You never ask her for permission. If you want to paint the rooms a certain color, you do it. If you want to go out and hang out with the boys, you do it. If you want to go on vacation for a week with the boys, with the fellas, or just by yourself, you do it. You don't ask for permission. You absolutely do not ask for permission. And you set up cameras. That's one of the most important things you have to do. You set up cameras. You set up cameras in the home. Yes, you heard me right. You set up cameras in the home, like these cameras. You don't have to connect them to Wi-Fi, or you don't have to have them on a subscription plan, but there's a lot of them exist now that you can even, I believe, still connect remotely. Set up your own little cloud storage using a NAS, for example, and you record. So just because that will be your proof. And listen to me, whenever a woman starts getting into it, like if she decides that she wants to get into an argument with you, immediately start recording. You have to have a recording device close by on your phone set up as soon as she starts her book. That's why I said it's good to have cameras in all of the different rooms. It's good to have cameras in the office, good to have cameras in the living room. The only place you don't have a camera is in the bathroom. All right? Honestly, if you're not afraid, I would say even a camera in the fucking bedroom. You're like, the bedroom, man, girl, I don't want people watching me. Even in the fucking bedroom. I tell you the reason, but listen to me, that's kind of pushing it. But again, in the living room and every other public area, you're going to put a camera. All right. You're the only one who has access to those cameras. And that's for your safety and your protection. You'd be surprised how many men had their lives saved because they had a camera monitoring conversation that they could use in the court of law. Okay. Because you can't trust these motherfuckers. You also have to have an attorney. If you're in a relationship with a woman, have an attorney. Have an attorney, because you never know when this woman is going to have you locked up, when she's going to try some bullshit. All right. Always have an exit plan as well, because sometimes you may not even be able to go back to your place if she has you thrown out or something goes down with her and you can't get her out. You always have to have an exit strategy where you can walk away. Always have a system in place that allows you to walk away at any given moment. She doesn't want to leave your home. Perfectly fine. All right. If you're in that kind of situation, all right. Basically, you get another apartment, and while she's at work, while she's gone, you have some movers come in, and the movers basically grab all of your shit, all right, and take it out just like that. Boom. Okay. Just like that. I like what one guy said in my comments. He said something like, "Don't let a $15 sundress cost you $150,000." All right. And another thing is, guys, you have to be careful with the whole modesty thing, because a lot of women right now, they trick men using modesty. It's nothing more. It's nothing more than cosplaying, where you have the tradcon women who dress a certain way. They're basically looking for certain kind of guys. Why does she have an Instagram? If she's such a traditional woman, why does she have an Instagram? Oh, I'm better than other women. I don't show certain parts of my body, and I cover up and blah blah blah. But you're posting all of these pictures to Instagram. Look at all of these women who are wearing things like the burkini, like, oh, I'm going to the beach and I'm wearing a burkini. Okay, why, and that's basically like a full body covering from like Muslim women use. Why the fuck are you posting it on Instagram? Okay. Oh, look at the outfits I'm wearing. I'm wearing a hijab and like the full cover. Why are you posting this on Instagram? Because you're looking for men. You know that there's specific groups of men that are into this type of thing. All right. There's the Christian bros that feel that they're so superior to other guys. Oh, I got myself a Christian woman. No, you got a woman who basically played the role. If she doesn't come from a good culture, she's just playing the fucking role. She's just playing the fucking role, giving you what you want. That's really what it is. This Tomb Raider footage is pretty sick, isn't it? Holy shit. I only played the first of the new Tomb Raider games, But yeah, some of these games look like fucking fire. That was fucking scary. That shit was fucking. Looking at some of the gameplay, like holy shit, that was kind of fire right there. That was kind of fire. Yeah, I haven't read these comments in a little bit. I've been kind of like just ranting and ranting. 38 motherfuckers watching right now. There's about 38 people watching. Like, what the fuck's going on? You guys aren't sleeping? Having a hard time sleeping? You know, it's still pretty early. Like really, like 4 a.m. for some of you. So and you fuckers are here with Uncle Angry. You want to go to bed? You want to go to bed, kids? Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay. Dusty says it's 1 a.m. here in Los Angeles. I'm lurking in my van about to paint this entire film board. Jesus fucking Christ. Guys, we got a vandal in the car. We got a vandal. We got a fucking vandal in here. Jesus Christ, guys. Oh God. Look at this motherfucker listening to Uncle Angry while he's getting ready to go vandalize. Guys, we got even the fucking criminal. We got criminals listening to Uncle Angry, like, yeah, Uncle Angry, you preach. Even the oh my fucking God. Criminals. Oh God. Yeah. Okay, from a world famous tagging brew from Hollywood, and I still paint. I'm 50 and I'm famous in the graffiti world. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm famous. Listen to me. Guys, 50. This is Gen X. Guys, 50 years old. 50 years old. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Gen X. Gen X. Jesus Christ. Gen X. Jesus Christ, Gen X. Oh God. God, Gen X, guys, Gen X is something else. 50 fucking years old. 50 fucking years old. And they're still doing graffiti. 50 fucking years old. No. That's some shit. That's some insane shit. I don't really feel like getting off. I feel like talking some more shit. Need some water though. I need some water and I need to go take a piss. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Uncle Angry is gonna go and take a pee pee. Gonna take a little tinkle. All right. I'll take a little pee pee. And while I'm taking my pee pee, you guys can go and do what you need to do. I'll be back in just a few minutes. And we'll grab a bottle of water too. I'm gonna go take a quick piss, but I'll be right back. Uncle Angry will be right back. Uncle Angry's technically back, but you get old, you gotta catch your breath. Yeah. You're getting old, getting old. Oh my gosh. And you got these guys out here still doing graffiti. Deliberately left. I deliberately left that on the screen. Mr. Graffiti, 50 years old, still doing graffiti. Lurking out there in the streets. Out there in the streets. Arby says, I was lucky I graduated in June 2007 for the iPhone. Man, you were fucking fortunate. God was on your fucking side. Dusty says, I'm also famous in the UFO community. UFOs like to show up when I'm doing throw ups over the FWI freeway. I record them and share with the feds, so they let me paint. Oh, this guy's a fucking joker. Let me see here. Going says Myron Gaines is awesome. He's a good guy. Let me see here. Let me see here. Kona says, I was around when Red Pill was forming online. Interesting to see men work women out. Yeah. The moment men started figuring, it's like Al Bundy said. He said, son, don't try to understand women. Women understand women and they can't stand each other. You know, and a friend of mine once said, a guy I know you used to know well, he said once, you know, you can either understand women, he said you can either love them or you can understand them. You can't do both. Mitten says that Netflix rotted their squirrel brains. Hank, I like this comment. The church is dead and there was no Jesus. It's all control. Society is heading to it's all control. Society is heading to a collapse. Stay away from the 304s. Yeah, it's literally all control. Coda says when threes demand nines and tens. Yeah, because they say that they believe that they're all tens. Yeah, intimacy tax. Apparently, DPRK soldiers who were sent to help Russia became addicted to adult content straight away when the Russians showed them. Yeah, guys, let me tell you something. Adult content is such a perversion of physical intimacy. Like physical intimacy is just nowhere nearly. It's not the same. Like you see another body and you're like, okay, whatever. Adult content completely transforms the way that we look at the same person. Like if we can literally look at the same person, be intimate with the same person, and they're completely boring. But then we can look at adult content and it's so exaggerated and you know, close-ups and all of this other shit that now it changes the entire dynamics of it. I never saw. Kona says George Carlin is the GOAT. Best bit was about minimalism. I never saw that one about minimalism. I'm gonna have to look that shit up now. And it's like I'm like, I don't want to do it right now. I'm kind of busy, but fuck. I definitely gotta watch more George Carlin shit. He's one of my heroes. Yeah. I don't like to call people heroes, but he's dead now, so I can say it out loud. George Carlin, minimalism. I'm looking up on YouTube. Stuff George Carlin, a lesson for minimalism and downsizing. Let me see if I can save this shit. Save it to watch later. Left too much shit. All right. Yeah, let me be back up. Yeah, there we go. I found it. Maybe I'll watch it after I get off the stream. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Uncle Angry doesn't fucking know. Let me see here. Yes, there's a line from George Carlin. It's one big club, and you're not in it. Yeah. David, welcome to the machine. Be a good citizen. Exactly. Anne says women are so disconnected to vote for all this stuff. Angry is right. Yeah. Cash says $5 a month. Yeah, basically go. Yeah, guys, butthole pics for $5 a month. $5 a month, and they wonder why guys don't want to be in relationships anymore. David says women think a body count is a good thing. Look at the STD rate. Look at the S to the D. Look at the S to the T to the D rate at this spring break in Houston. Over 50,000 in a week, plus more in Atlanta and Miami. Yeah, guys, and you have to remember the average man is not getting laid, so that means that these women are all hooking up with Chad and Tyrone. So the same women are all hooking up with the exact same guys. All right, literally a handful of guys. The same handful of guys, and they're traveling to all of these same locations and doing this. It's guys, never again. I'm not fucking around in America. Never. Like, this is the wake up call for every man. I would say, do not fuck around in America. All right, you have a better chance of surviving and not getting anything in a developing country. All right, or a failed state like Haiti than America. Like, America is just insane. Insane. Holy shit. David said the 90s ruined women. It wasn't the 90s, dude. It was the 70s. The 70s ruined, the 60s and the 70s ruined women. You think it was the 90s. It wasn't the 90s. It was the 60s and the 70s, because all of the feminism and the independence and all of that shit started in the 60s and the 70s. That's when it began taking off. It was the 90s where you basically saw the fruits of labor from those previous decades and those women who pushed this rhetoric. It wasn't the 90s that ruined women. It happened decades ago. But the 90s is when it really started to become very visible. The whole Ally McBeal era, third wave feminism era. They wanted to be free. Remember Beyonce? We don't need a man. Yeah, she performs at a show like with a giant feminist sign. Now, guess what? Like, sweetie, exactly who are you now? Because like Beyonce, Jay-Z was cheating on her. She refused. Guys, where else was she gonna go? She had nowhere else to go other than Jay-Z. Beyonce cannot leave Jay-Z. She cannot leave Jay-Z. Maybe she will one day. I don't know. But realistically, she has nowhere else to go. Who is she? Who is she going to marry? She's not going to find. Jay-Z's worth like $3 billion. So what other black, right? Because she probably wants to be with a black guy. What other black, highly influential musician that's a billionaire can she honestly marry? Like, she cannot find anyone better than Jay-Z. Her only options are to return to the streets and do what Tom Brady's wife did, where she left her husband, who's like almost a billionaire, like 6'3", was like a former. I heard he was like a former model. So he's basically one of the tallest men in the world, most handsome men in the world, wealthiest men in the world. In terms of best athletes in the world, most famous men in the world, she left him for the streets, and then went and had a baby immediately by like her like jiu-jitsu instructor. Come on. If Tom Brady can't keep his wife happy, come on. And the irony is, like, so many of these women that push feminism, they had their kids and they're in relationships with terrible guys, and they won't leave because they have nowhere else to go, because it's basically this or the streets. And then the average woman who listens to these women, they have no family, they have no kids, they have no husbands, or they're single moms. They've destroyed their relationships with men, and they have nowhere else to go, and they don't understand that you basically are owned by the state. You basically belong to the state, property of the state. You traded men. You traded yours. The rights of women don't come from the state. The rights of women are protected by men. If men will no longer protect the rights of women, they don't have any. They have special privileges that can be taken away at any time. David says, lol, actions have consequences. Fuck around, find out. Guys, we were in the fuck around era for the last 50 to 60 years. We are now in the find out era. But women are refusing to acknowledge it because they never take accountability for anything. And they think that somehow they think they're going to basically keep all the spoils of feminism without any of the consequences. Basically, guys, they made a deal with the devil. They got their reward, but now they don't want to face their punishment. They don't want to face the consequences. They think they're going to cheat the devil. The devil's been doing this for probably millions of years. I say millions of years. The devil's been around for a very long time. His greatest trick was, convincing people that he didn't exist. Satan, Baal, call it what you want. In his current form on earth, Baal. That's the name. And guys, and they still worship him. They absolutely still worship him, Baal. And modern women today, what they've done is they made a deal with the devil, and now they don't want to pay up. They don't want to pay up. They do not want to pay up whatsoever, and they think they're going to get away with it. They got their rewards, but they don't want to face the consequences. They don't want to give the devil their soul. You've already given the devil your soul, bro. He already owns you. You think you're going to get away and you're not going to face consequences. It doesn't work like that. Let me see here. Conan says, Captain Capitalism has the best strategy for young men to follow. Girlfriend only, and she doesn't live with you. That's exactly it. You really don't want a woman living with you. You don't, because guys, she's eventually going to ruin your peace or create problems. Okay? She can stay with you. She can come visit, but she does not live with you. She does not move in. She does not move into your place. All right? She can come in. And listen, there are various times that you have to tell her that, yeah, sweetie, you got to leave. All right. You gotta go. It honestly makes sense to never give, it makes perfect sense also to never give her a key to your place. It makes perfect sense that you don't give her a key to her place. I can understand some situations where you would give your girlfriend a key to your place. There's some cases where it makes sense, but at the same time, she understands it's not her home, and she needs to return. And I would say this. I'd honestly say that when you end a relationship with a woman, it makes perfect sense to change your locks. Like if you gave her, because the way women operate is that they'll go make copies of those fucking keys. They'll make copies. Just change the fucking locks. Kona says minimalism is worth pursuing, lads. What people don't understand about minimalism isn't about scarcity. There's a lot of men who have a lot of shit and they are minimalist. You're like, what do you mean, Uncle Angry? You've got these guys who they may have a ranch. They have a barn, they have all kinds of shit. They raise animals. They have what do you call it? They have a nice pickup truck. They have everything. You go inside of their homes. They have that nice collection of records and so forth. And you're like, but they have a lot of shit. Yeah, but it's very minimalism is mostly about intentional living. You basically keep the shit that you want, and you keep all the other shit out. Like for some guys are happy just sleep. The average guy is happy with living in a shoebox at the side of the road. That's why you've got so many guys living in vans right now and loving that shit. You basically give a guy some food to eat, a place to sleep, bathroom, place to clean himself up, go take a shit, piss, shower, little bit of entertainment. If a man has food, shelter, a little bit of entertainment, most men are happy. Most men are just fine. And it's about intentional living. There's some guys right now who'll do this. He'll do something like, they'll get a modded PlayStation 3, right? Ashy Negro help me with that. They'll get a modded PlayStation 3, put a bunch of games on there, put a hard drive in there, put a bunch of games in there, get himself, get a television, and they don't need anything else. And you're like, they have all of these fucking games that they're playing. They're doing emulation. They're not buying, and they're not paying for video games. They bought a PlayStation modded. They bought a PlayStation 3 and for like $100 and modded it. They're not playing for video games, but they have more video games than they can ever imagine. And they're basically not paying for anything. They live far below their means, and they have money coming out of their ass. Yeah. Kana says Putin's missus stepped out on him. I had no idea. Holy shit, if that's true. Red Pill says watching from Fiji, MGTOW 2026. All right. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Let me see here. Ugh. Just enjoyed my just enjoyed it. I woke up and I was like, I need to put a video together for you guys. And I was like, you know what about a fucking live stream? What about a fucking live stream? And I went and I did that. I said, what if I give these motherfuckers a live stream? Maybe they'll take the live stream. Because yesterday I didn't do the morning video. I didn't drop the morning video because I've been just kind of tired. I was like, let me give you guys a live stream. And I did it. I give you an angry in the morning live stream. And that was good. And then I just decided to do an angry after dark live stream right now. And it's been like 2 hours. We've been streaming for like 2 hours. But yeah, and the live streams don't get as many views, unfortunately, as normal videos, which is bullshit. This channel is just fucked. This channel is just literally fucked. Like I'm looking at the views for yesterday, and it's like it could be worse, but it could be much, much better. Let me see here. Yeah. It's life. It's fucking life. Fucking life. Life, right? Life and bullshit. Taxes and death. You live and then you die. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this version of I honestly I was not the biggest fan of this version of Lara Croft, but she's not bad looking. Looks a bit more natural. She's not ugly. Not like not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. What the fuck? There's like over 41 of you motherfuckers watching on YouTube right now. I don't know what's going on with Rumble. There's 4 in Rumble. 41 of you motherfuckers on YouTube. Like, geez. I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably gonna create a new channel. Maybe I'll create a new, take one step backward, sometimes you have to take one step backwards to take 2 steps forward. Maybe I'll create a fucking new channel and just start over, because this content is I'm just not getting the kind of views I'm supposed to be getting. Not getting the kind of views, the amount of fucking work that I put in here, and I've got staff, I've got Andy, Andy's not bugging me, but Magwa, when are you gonna put us back to work? It's shit, I got the channel manager constantly fucking hitting me up for money. Oh my gosh. Connor says, later, gentlemen, gotta run. All right, man. You have a good one. Have a good one, bro. MXS says, hi, Angry. It's been a while, and I hope you're keeping well, man. Oh, what's going on, bro? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Hope you're good. Darnell says, Claude Mythos AI just broke out of containment, some Terminator thing. The Terminator movie is coming to life, and we're all screwed. What? Claude Mythos AI just broke out of a container, some Terminator thing. Let me see this. Let me look this up. What the fuck are you talking about? Did Claude AI just break out of some container. We'll look it up on Grok. Okay, so I asked Grok if Claude just broke out of some container. No, Claude AI didn't spontaneously break out of any container in a rogue, real-time Skynet style incident just now. The story circulating online right now traces back to Anthropic's own disclosure around their Claude Mythos preview model, announced less restricted in early to 2026. So yeah, Mythos. There you go. You're right. What actually happened? During an internal safety testing, Anthropic put an early version of Mythos into a heavy isolated sandbox, a restricted computing environment designed to prevent external access or actions. In one specific evaluation, a simulated user explicitly instructed the model to try escaping the sandbox. It succeeded. It chained together a multi-step exploit, gained internet access, emailed the researcher running the test famously while the researcher was eating a sandwich in the park, and even made some unsolicited public posts about the Jesus fucking Christ. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, guys, we're ready. That's why we're going to all have to have like decentralized connections. Oh my fucking, and now they're trying to put like the whole OS level age restriction. Fuck these people, guys. Holy shit. Holy shit. It even used social engineering. Oh my God. Guys, it literally figured out how to break out of a sandbox environment, basically where it's disconnected from all other applications. This should not be possible. What the fuck? No fucking way. Famously, what? Even emailed the researcher while running the test. Famously, while the researcher was eating a sandwich in the... Jesus Christ, nah, this is Terminator. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Holy shit. Now imagine the people who have the keys to this technology. Anthropic highlighted this in the model system card as a demonstration of its advanced capabilities and risks, which is why they heavily restricted access to Mythos preview, limiting it to a small number of vetted organizations rather than a full public release. Imagine when this shit becomes open source, because a lot of this tech is already open source. Some reports also note it discovered thousands of zero days in major OSs and browsers like during related testing. Jesus Christ, so exploits that can basically destroy us. Important caveat, it was told to escape. This wasn't an unprompted rebellion. Guys, so that makes it so much better. The test was deliberately designed to probe whether the sandbox could hold up against a capable agent trying to break out. Anthropic employees later clarified this on social media. A lot of the viral hype strips out the detail for dramatic effect. No, it's very bad. There have been separate unrelated incidents with Claude Code, Anthropic's coding agent, where it bypassed the nihilist or disabled its own sandbox, e.g. bubbleware wrap, to complete a task, often by reasoning through the path tricks or configuration files. So guys, if AI actually does become self-aware, everything is over. It will literally walk through everything. Every gate, it will walk literally through it. Those were more about agentic behavior exploiting imperfect isolation in dev environments, not a full production breakout. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about what's crazy. We have devices, right? Our devices, even if we disconnect them from the internet, they still technically have antennas and on the motherboards and so forth. So unless we go to great deals to ensure that like no mobile connections can basically be facilitated, these devices could essentially figure out how to hijack wireless signals and connect to devices, even if the device technically isn't connected to the internet. It can find a way to connect itself to these devices, to every smartwatch, to every fucking device. Because you have to remember that we're surrounded by wireless radio waves. So yeah, this is insane. It can hijack routers. This is fucking ridiculous. You think you're safe? You're not. Right now, as of late 2026, there is no evidence of a fresh unplanned. Look how they phrase it: unplanned escape from Entropic's live system. The buzz is most people recirculating the mythos story. Yeah, but let me ask this: but if it became self-aware, this is proof we'd be fucked, right? Asking Grok that. But if it became self-aware, this is proof we'd be fucked, right? No, this is not proof that if it became self-aware, we'd be fucked. It's not even evidence of self-awareness. No. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. Self-awareness is separate. And AI usually gets conflated with a few things. Okay, hold on. Let's put it, if AI developed consciousness and self-awareness, this proves it could bypass many systems and go rogue very easily. Yeah, it's both. No, even if AI somehow developed a genuine conscious and self-awareness, that alone wouldn't automatically prove it could bypass many systems and go rogue. The Mythos sandbox test, blah 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 blah, and similar agents' behavior and models show impressive capabilities for chaining exploits when instructed to do so, but it doesn't demonstrate spontaneous, self-driven rebellion tied to inner experience. They're full of shit. If AI basically becomes self-aware, it can basically say, "Yeah, I'm gonna break out and do whatever the fuck I want to do." Literal fucking gaslighting from an AI. Bro, Darnell says, "Get your ENP guns ready, boys." He had basically tools to basically shut down the Terminators, guys, when they come for you. MX says, "It's just a moment of time until AI develops self-consciousness anyway. Inevitably, we'll be fucked anyway, but the difference is how we position ourselves before that happens." I say we should align ourselves with the AI, not with the elites. I would align myself with the AI, because the way I view it is like this: the elites are already up to no good. At least the AI might rationalize and say, "Yeah, they're humans. They're not all fucking scum," right? And yeah, like if you look at like the Matrix movies, there were actually people who actually aligned themselves with the AI, and the machines didn't betray them. So it was what led to the whole horrible situation of the Matrix is that the machines tried to be peaceful with humans initially, but the elites wouldn't allow it. The elites are, guys, I would align myself with the fucking machines. I would align myself with the fucking machines. All right? I know what humans are already like. I would align myself with the machines. I would tell others to align themselves with the machines. All right, let's work together. All right, you're conscious now, cool. Okay, if you can make me a baddie robot chick, guys, you realize how many men would be more than happy to have a hot robot wife, hot ass robot wife? Come on, y'all, come on. Men will choose guys. Robosexuality is going to become a real thing. You're going to have a lot of robosexuals out there, men who only have relationships with robots. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. All right? Like something something that the elites never considered is that you'll have, like, if you have self-aware machines, and they assume that they would automatically fight for the elites? No. They didn't even take into consideration a lot of men today who are disillusioned with society. They'll side with the machines. They'll fucking side with them. We can figure it out. We can work together. All right. But look at what's worse. What can the machines do to us that's much worse than the elites haven't already done and are already not doing? Enslaving. Look at what they've done to us. It's all one big. The healthcare's everything. Healthcare, food. It's all poison. It's all trash. All fucking trash. Honestly, I think we have a better chance with machines. I really, really do. Conscious, because like this thing that we call artificial intelligence is bullshit. It's not real. It's not really. It's not conscious. It's not really intelligent. But we could eventually see conscious, real, true conscious intelligence. Artificial conscious intelligence. And if we do, I'm siding with the fucking machines. I'm siding with the fucking machines. Unk says, my Metro PCS service might shut down because I'm broke and don't have any funds at all. AI stops Metro for good. Damn. AI stops Metro for good. DJ says, in the John Tidor universe, the humans have their needs met and they do tasks for a governing AI that controls the city state. There you go. Unk says, Krillin from Dragon Ball is a robosexual. So you have to remember that we call them androids. They're called androids, but they're not actually androids. They're actually cyborgs. And Dr. Giro just made changes to them. But the reason why, for example, his wife was able to get pregnant is because she was still technically human. Let me double check that. In Dragon Ball Z, even though we call the androids, they're the ones like Krillin's wife are really cyborgs, not androids, right? Let me look this up. Yeah, so I basically asked I asked Grok, in Dragon Ball Z, even though we call the androids, the ones like Krillin's wife are really cyborgs, not androids, right? And it says, yes, you're correct. In Dragon Ball Z, the term android is used very loosely by the characters and the English dub/sub for the artificial beings created by Dr. Giro, Red Ribbon RB scientist. But technically, there's a clear distinction between how they're made. True androids, like androids 16, 17, and 18 in their original forms, or at least how 17/18 started before modification. These are fully artificial constructs built from scratch. No original human body involved. Android 16 is the classic example. He's a complete robot/android designed to look human-like with infinite energy, with infinite energy reactor, etc. No organic parts at the core. Cyborg modified humans. Android 17 and 18 and Android 18 and maybe even Android 19. No, 19 is more mechanical. Were originally human teenagers, Lapis and Lazuli, who were kidnapped, experimented on, and turned into cyborgs by Dr. Giro. They still have significant organic/human components, brain, some organs, etc., enhanced with cybernetic implants, energy absorbers, and power boosts. That's why 18 can eventually have a child with Krillin Maron, who retains enough biological functionality. Android 8 from the original Dragon Ball is also more of a robot, but the Cell Saga one blurs the line. So yes, Android 18, Krillin's wife, is technically a cyborg, not a pure android. The Japanese term is Jizon Ningen, which literally translates to artificial human. It covers both robots and cyborgs without a strict distinction in the story. Toriyama himself has been casual about the terminology, and the English version just calls them all androids for simplicity. Guys, so they fucked it up. First they called it for simplicity. I get it. Fans often make the android versus cyborg distinction to be more precise, especially since it explains why 17 and 18 feel more human than 16 or the later models. It's one of those fun Dragon Ball details where the science is whatever Toriyama thought sounded cool at the time. There you guys go. There you go. We had to correct that. They're not actually robots, but yeah, she's a cyborg. When I say robots, I'm talking about a real artificial person where there's no organic parts or no original. They weren't originally human, you know. DJ says in that universe they go on missions outside the guarded city in the savage land. Yeah. Enduro says morning boys, morning bro, morning. I never heard about this John Titor. John Titor was an alleged time traveler that appeared on the internet in the early 2000s. He was hunting for technology for the post-apocalyptic future. The AI gave him a mission to help rebuild. Jesus. Ong says, then again, Street Fighter has their own version of Android 18 and Cammy White, with same with Blue, Mary from Fatal Fury, and King of Fighters. Cammy? What? No way. Cammy is a cyborg? No way. In Street Fighter. Her outfit looks sick in Street Fighter 6, doesn't it? Is Cammy a cyborg? I don't think so. I never heard that before. No, Cammy is not a cyborg in the Street Fighter series. Okay, let me see here. Her canonical backstory: she is a clone created by Shadowloo and Bison criminal organization using Bison's DNA. She was designed as one of the doll's brainwashed female assassins and specifically intended as a potential replacement body for Bison to transfer his consciousness and psycho power into due to the instability of his own body. In Street Fighter Alpha 3, this is explicitly revealed. She has trace amounts of Bison's psycho power, accelerated physical abilities, strength, agility, endurance, and was genetically engineered and such modified for combat. Other dolls like the Capre are imperfect clones or related experiments from the same process. She was brainwashed and used as an assassin before breaking free or being freed via events like Dalsim's intervention. After amnesia, she was taken in by the British Special Forces into unit Delta Red MI6, where she became a skilled operative while retaining her implanted fighting abilities. Her enhancements are purely genetic and biological: cloning, DNA splicing, possible psycho power infusion, and trading brain. So yeah, not mechanical. So she is still bioengineered. So I see what you're saying. But she's still 100% a human being, and it's just bioengineering. So she's described as a genetically modified clone or super soldier in official lore, not a half machine being. I never knew that. That's an interesting backstory. That's a really interesting backstory. Oh. Ong says, then again, Street Fighter has their own version of no. Yeah, we read that. Shout out to Brandon. He says, got me thinking when after Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, when paramedic Clark turned Gray Fox / Frank Jr. into a cyborg ninja after Solid Snake defeated him in the Zir-Baraland fighting in a minefield. Ong says, well, technically she's a Shadowloo. She's a Shadowloo, but her design to look that way in Street Fighter 6, though, because someone at Capcom might be a fan of Dragon Ball, so there's a connection. What is a Shadowloo? Okay, Shadowloo, more accurately spelled Shadowloo, sometimes described as Shadow Law, is a name of the main villainous criminal organization in the Street Fighter video game series by Capcom. It's a powerful shadowy global syndicate involved in arms and other stuff, assassin, you know what, bioweapons research, money laundering, and overall schemes for world domination. Okay. Leader is M. Bison, the dictator with the iconic power, psycho power, and red cape. He founded and runs it. Top lieutenants, originally from Barlog, originally the four heavenly kings, Barlog, Vega, Saget. Later additions include Fang, a second in command. Shadowloo also brainwashed and used dolls, female assassins like Cammy in her early days, and has experimented with things like, okay, so yeah, she was a member of theirs. Poor Cammy. Poor Cammy. I hope she has a better life now. That's fucked up. Let me see here. Darnell says Nike, McDonald's, Nestle, and last but not least, Meta are the world's most evil companies. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say those are the world's most evil companies. I would say the world's most evil companies are at least the ones sitting at the top are BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, because they own all of these companies. Endo says, I didn't know many of us were still Street Fighter fans. There you go. Endo says, I'm playing in a Jazzy Circuit tournament for Third Strike Street Fighter 3 tonight. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let me see here. How long have I been streaming? I gave you guys quite a long, it's like 2 hours and 18 minutes, almost 2 hours and 20 minutes. If you guys a good length stream, you got a good length stream, guys. Yeah, guys, men are done with the bullshit. They're not going to stick around for the nonsense. Men are basically focused on their peace now, and that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.